So, there's a new game on Steam called Flyout. It is similar to Sprocket tank design, except you get to build planes and fly them around instead of tanks. Sounds simple enough, right? I recently passed 2,000 subscribers, thanks to all of you for the support by the way. So I figured it'd be a good time to mix things up a bit and build this. In today's video, I'm going to be playing Flyout for the first time and see if we can defy the laws of physics by flying Snoopy Sopwith Camel. Let's get started. Okay, so here we are. I have officially opened it for the first time. Do we create a new craft? I would also like to just take a look and see how an existing one is laid out. The Radial MK2. This looks like a cute little monoplane fighter. So before we build our own plane, I think it's best to take one out like this and just see what we're working with and fly it around for a moment. Okay, so we've got what looks like a plane. Now, how do we take off with it? See, the W and S keys control the elevator on the rear. Okay, the A and D keys control that, and the rudder is controlled by the Q and E keys. That's pretty reasonable. I wish some other games used controls like this. Now, how do we get the throttle up and running? The Shift key. That seems to do it. And we take off? No. Uh-oh. Well, that's a good start. We got off the ground with the stock plane. Almost died, but we did it. Okay, so the controls do seem just slightly finicky. And we try and do a loop. Nope, I guess we're going for a 0G roll instead, because it's not going to get high enough to do a loop. Oh well. We should probably go back and try to land now. Okay, that wasn't too bad. It seems we have successfully landed. Now can we stop? Yeah, I don't think we're going to tip over. Can we get... Aww. Well, we were close. But the propeller appears to have snapped off, hitting this strange little bump. New aircraft? Yes. And now we have our cute little guy, which I've heard is called Jimmy, right here. Now we need to build a fuselage around him so that Jimmy does not exist in our little Snoopy aircraft. Let's start with a fuselage and mount it in the middle. Okay, how do we select it? There we go. Now scale. Let's increase that. And make this as small as we can to where it can still efficiently hide him. and then align it so it's right in the middle. Now let's add a sphere, which will be used as our fuel tank. Now let's place another fuselage and mount it straight on, and then adjust it to form the cover for the engine. Let's add a loop here. Take free, move it in a bit. That seems pretty good, although probably could use a little more Snoopy. To do that, we will just add some extra loops and adjust as needed. There we go, this should form a good rough shape to start with. Now let's add an engine and bring it out of hiding so nope. Let's take this engine and change it from a V to a radial. We need as many cylinders as we can give it. Let's add a gearbox to this guy for now. I will press the Z, X, and Y to mount it straight on. Perfect. Now it needs a propeller. I think this is actually just a little big for what we need. In this case, let's take the engine and downsize it a little bit. The smaller size also means we can take this and downsize it even further. Well, this presents a new problem. Now, how do we hide this little cockpit? I know what we can do. This will certainly not cause any problems whatsoever. It's like he was never even there to begin with. Now to make this engine a little more functional, let's just take a radiator or two, or maybe even 4. And then assign these to our engine. We'll need one as an intercooler and the other as a radiator, just to ensure that we have as much cooling as we can get. Just to make it look even cooler, let's add an exhaust stack. Now we've got a perfect engine for this vehicle. Next up, let's get all the wings attached, and then start building the superstructure. Let's grab some somewhat basic wings. Oh, I guess the exhaust stack needs to be moved out of the way. Add some leading and trailing edges so it looks a bit smoother. That should give us enough room to add in some flaps if we need to. Might not hurt to move them back just a bit. And now for the side pieces. This should be fun. Last I recall, side pieces are not very effective at generating lift, so we probably should have these as thin as possible just to save on drag and weight. On the other hand, the bottom is going to be very effective for generating weight and hiding components that we want to put directly underneath the vehicle. So we will probably want to make these a bit thicker. That's the bottom taken care of. Now to move on to the top. Doesn't look like this is going to collide with anything, so I think we're good here. I don't think the dimensions of this match up accurately with our reference model, so we're probably going to need to shorten the airfoil a little bit more. And there we go. This should be a pretty good basic airframe to work with. I think it might be a good idea to go and paint it now. Paint all. Okay. That sure does look like wood now, that's for sure. I think that fits fairly well. Oh, and we definitely can't forget to change the color of this to better match the actual Sopwith camel. Set the metallic up. I wonder what that looks like. Oh no, I don't want to paint all of them. That turned out pretty nicely, and I think the whole craft in general is starting to look very close to what we're aiming for now. The next step should probably be getting landing gear into this. What better way to do it than just place a completely random open fuselage with no purpose other than just being a cover. And we have landing gear. I think now all we need to do is try to add some control to the flaps and go take it for a spin. Well, now that that's been brought up, I just realized that these now conflict with the flaps here, which might not be a good idea. I think that'll cut it. Definitely no structural issues here. And the short landing gear is also definitely not going to be a problem whatsoever. And with that, I think it's ready for our first test run. We hit the loading screen, and well, that's not a bad start. Okay, never mind. Let's try this again. It picked up speed, and well, we lost a couple rudders. And the landing gear works. So to be ultimately honest, we probably are going to have to do some shenanigans now to actually get this thing to fly. We're going to take this and extend it all the way back. Now you might be wondering why I'm doing this, because it doesn't really look like a doghouse anymore. Fortunately for us, what we can do is add a second texture using that certain hole that was not shown earlier. Now we've got this nice invisible little stabilizer, which we can then take and add wings onto. And there you go, a definitely normal and not suspicious whatsoever airframe. Let's see how it flies now. Already starting with something a little more stable. We're off to a reasonably good start. Or not. Okay, I unbound a couple of the rear wings, so it should be slightly easier now. We're getting there. Can we get it off the ground? Huh, I guess not. It might not have enough lift to actually get going. So we've already done some shenanigans to stabilize it a bit more. How about to give it some more lift? We can just take these, rotate them, and then use these guys for lift. There we go. Let's see if we can get this off the ground now. And there we go. Barely. Nope. That clearly didn't go as planned. I'm wondering if this propeller might need a little more torque behind it. Oh, maybe that's why. Our pre-ignition is quite a bit too high. We might need to go and look at that. Oh gee, that might be why we have so much pre-ignition. We're using jet fuel in a prop engine. We want to be using AV gas. Okay, that has clearly solved a lot. I don't see any more pre-ignition. Let's see if we can take off now. Oh, look at that! Well, it sort of works, but we need to fix stability a bit. Okay, I have gone through and recalibrated most of the default flat positions, so now the invisible side rollers are adjusted to auto-compensate for the side roll, and the rear flaps are set to compensate for the forward roll. As you can see now, it is flying really stable compared to before. I no longer have to sit there and continuously feather the keys just to keep it going straight. It is now... okay. I'm not sure what happened there. I guess my screen went black. Well, now that the aircraft flies, and flies rather well for what it is, I say it's time to start putting Snoopy on top of the Stop with Camel Doghouse combo? Yeah, that's what it is. Anyway, let's start with... how are we going to do this? This isn't exactly going to be the easiest to try and do. Well, I did completely forget about this feature existing. Might want to utilize it. Ah yes, negative 0.02 brush size. This is totally fine. Now to get some ears on, we need to rotate this. And done. I have officially completed Snoopy's doghouse and put Snoopy on top of him. Time to pull the landing gear up, and let's take it for a test spin. Now we unfortunately are not able to take this out against the Red Baron, but what we are able to do is spawn a target drone. Yeah, that guy's going a little too far away from us, so we'll probably need to spawn a lot of them. Well, here's one, so we could try to hit it. Nope. Which one is coming closest to us? I don't see any that are far out but rapidly approaching us, so that might be troublesome if we want to actually catch up to one. Might as well just try spawning some more in and look for one that approaches us. Okay, there's one. I hear noises, but oh, that one went well past us, and I definitely can't catch up to it now. Oh, there's one behind us. Oh, and there's a couple right in front of us. Well, we might not be able to hit one with manual guns, but what about a missile? Yay, we got one! Not sorry. And before we go, I want to give a special thanks to these members of the Flyout Discord for helping to make this video possible. If you would like to join the Flyout Discord to see developer updates and useful resources, check out the video description below. Let me know in the comments as well if you'd like to see me create more Flyout content like this in the future. Thanks for watching, and see you all soon!